story. St. Barbara's was founded in 1905, so we recently celebrated our 100th anniversary. We started out in another location. There was a fire. The fire took our church. The parishioners, who primarily came from Poland, a small part of Poland, can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. They came from a certain area of Poland, so we were a personal parish rather than a territorial parish. So the fire took our church, and the parishioners decided they would buy some land, and they told the bishop, we have land. So we built a church there. Our church building now is only about 50 years old, but it's in good shape. These parishioners that started our church, if they got a nickel somewhere, they gave it to the church. And I know a lot of you share with that. So this church was built, I guess, on these people who were giving whatever they had when they had it. When we built our church in the 60s, the freeways came through. And I was a little girl, we wrote letters saying, please, state of Ohio, please don't take our church. So the Jennings Freeway moved over a little bit. So this fire didn't get us, the state of Ohio cooperated, and now our own bishop wants to close us. When the freeway came through, it decimated our neighborhood. And so our people who would have liked to have stayed in our church, in the neighborhood, moved, and primarily moved south to Parma, because a lot of Polish people were in that area. When we lost people the first time, we still continued as a church, and people came back. Someone counted our zip codes for parishioners, and we think we have about 40 different zip codes represented by our parishioners. We are not a big church, but we are a church that has paid its bills. We've paid our assessments. We're in the black. Our building needs no repairs. If we need repairs, parishioners give money and we repair things. So then the Jennings Freeway came through, and there's some more people that were gone. We are the beacon for the neighborhood. We are a small church. When the bishop came to a mass last year, he made a comment to one of our parishioners. He saw a lot of gray hair in the church. And we thought maybe he should look at his own hair. So I guess our point is that we're financially sound. We have people who come to choose to be there. We are a beacon for the neighborhood. I think we've helped keep the neighborhood stable in the city of Cleveland, in that little area there. We have easy access because we are right off the Jennings Freeway. Every morning you hear the reports about the tie-ups on the Harvard-Denison exit. That's us. We're right there. So we think we have some good reasons to stay as a parish. On the cluster, we were put together with a Vietnamese parish, St. Boniface, a Hispanic parish, St. Michael's, Italian parish, St. Rocco's, and Blessed Sacrament, and us. There were 5 of us. Well, guess which ones came out okay? The 3 bigger parishes, Blessed Sacrament and our church, St. Barbara's. The other 3 basically voted against us. It became very adversarial. Those of you that were on the cluster teams, I'm sure you have your own stories. We were told we could not talk about anything that went on in the cluster. So that's why I'm here today. So Blessed Sacrament has pretty much resigned to the fact that they're going to close. We've come out of this saying that we will, we're here to say we want to stay open, and our people are behind us on that.
Was established in 1904 as a result of the need for the Hungarian immigrants who came at the beginning of the century and who lived on the west side of the Cuyahoga River, where there were many factories and steel mills. And these were working class people, and they needed a Hungarian parish, and permission was given. Since then, new immigrants came because of the communist suppression of Hungary after the Second World War. So that sent a new wave of immigrants to refresh the need for the Hungarian religious services. And then after the 1956 Hungarian Revolution, against the communist dictatorship, another new wave of immigrants came. So we still have parishioners who are in need of the Hungarian language service, especially the older people, especially the ones who, how should I say, we were able to hold our place in our jobs. We speak English fluently, but when our parents gave us the, I'm sorry, I don't know why I get so emotional, but when our parents gave us the Hungarian language and prayer, they did it in Hungarian. And I still pray in Hungarian, because that's what my heart is. But the ones older than us, only speak in Hungarian when they speak of their religious practices. Okay, the neighborhood around St. Emmerich's became totally a retail neighborhood. It's right next to the West Side Market. And the Cleveland Metropolitan Housing Authority has some buildings also close to us. There are no more neighborhoods there. So yes, we all live in the suburbs, but we're willing to travel to our church because of the need, and we even have parishioners from Akron coming in every Sunday. The other thing, the cluster process. The cluster process was very, very horrible because the bishop put 3 Hungarian parishes in one cluster. And I know some people said, oh, that's wonderful. Well, no, it isn't wonderful because he mandated 1 to remain open. No, he said no more than 1 to remain open. And during the cluster process, I am very proud to say that all the Hungarian team members said, we're not going to put a gun on the table and point it at 2 of you. We're going to stick together, and our recommendation, and we went through the process, our recommendation was that all 3 are needed because one of the parishes is way out in Orange Village. The other is St. Elizabeth's in the center of the city, and then St. Emmerich's, which is accessible by 4 major interstate highways. 4. And the outcome was the bishop reprimanded us. He said we did not participate in the process, and he ordered St. Margaret and St. Emmerich to close. And then the other baffling situation for us is that one of the reasons for closing parishes is the shortage of priests, and yet our priest is not a diocesan priest, he's an extern priest, which means the diocese never spent a penny on his education and also does not pay his retirement. And yet, if he closes our parish, that priest is out of the diocese. So if there is a shortage of priests, this is a bonus to the diocese, this priest. So we don't understand.
What's his name?
Father Shiklodi. And then the other very frustrating thing for us is that in our petition, which my husband wrote most of it with the help, of course, of a team, the bishop never answered any of our suggestions. We asked for some compromise. We asked for a meeting with him. Never responded. His decree came back saying, I ordered you to close and you are to use your church for legitimate purposes. What he meant by that, we don't know. We have on the parish grounds a building, it belongs to the diocese, that was an old warehouse, and nobody used this warehouse. 20 years ago, or 20-some years ago, the Scouts, the Hungarian Scouts are a very active group here in Cleveland, Ohio. They maintain their Hungarian heritage. They're not all Catholics. They're not all Catholics. I actually was a Hungarian Scout on the east side of Cleveland when I was growing up, and I was not Catholic either. And because all my Scout friends were Catholic, I went with them to the Catholic Mass all the time with the Scouting activities, I became Catholic. Well, we have this Scout group now who took that warehouse and offered the diocese to renovate the whole old abandoned warehouse if you let us have our scouting program there. And what these guys did, they renovated the old warehouse into a beautiful, it has a dance studio inside, it has classrooms, it has a kitchen, and so on. Well, anyway, the lease is going to be up in next year, 20 years. But the point is, our pastor, our father, Sándor Shiklodi, goes to the Scout camps to offer them Mass in Hungarian. These Scout, 250 young people, their scouting program is intimately associated with the church. Even the non-Catholics come to the various church activities. It's a wonderful opportunity for evangelization, and our bishop is throwing this away. Thank you.